Hey guys, there's been a very interesting video from Bharat Nagpal, iGyaan's, and this is something, for the last few years I've kind of stayed out of it. I've really not spoken about these kind of things, scams and stuff. But this one hits a little too close to home. It kind of resonated with me and I thought I'll kind of react to what Bharat is talking about in this video. And now, if you're watching this and everything is in Hindi and you don't understand Hindi, well, I'm with you. I don't speak Hindi either, but Bharat has been kind enough to add English subtitles. So let's go with that. And this is a very interesting video. So let's just watch it.
100 करोड़ रुपए का ईयरली बिजनेस। इस केस में सिर्फ आपके जितने भी फेवरेट क्रिएटर्स हैं वो सिर्फ पपेट्स बन के रह जाते हैं, जिससे आपका भी नुकसान होता है, इंडस्ट्री का भी नुकसान होता है, क्रिएटर्स का भी नुकसान होता है, एंड एट द एंड ऑफ इट कुछ लोग कमा के निकल जाते हैं।
This is serious. It is serious.
करप्शन की जड़ पैसा जरूर है, लेकिन पावर ही करप्शन को इनेबल करता है। द रूट कॉज ऑफ करप्शन में बी मनी, बट इट इज पावर विच इनेबल्स इट।
Punch to open. Nice.
आज की स्टोरी भी कुछ ऐसी ही है। सिर्फ 5 उंगलियों पे ये स्टोरी अनरावल हो जाएगी। फर्स्ट, एक ऐसा स्कैम जो पूरी टेक इंडस्ट्री को कंट्रोल कर रहा है। 2, 200 करोड़ रुपए का ईयरली बिजनेस जो इस एलिजेड स्कैम में इन्वॉल्व है। 3 फेसेस ऑफ दिस स्कैम: इन्फ्लुएंसर एजेंसीज, ब्रांड मैनेजर्स, कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स एंड इन्फ्लुएंसर्स। 4 स्टेप्स जिसमें ये स्कैम कंट्रोल किया जाता है। एंड 5 ऐसे लोग जो इस पूरी चीज के सेंटर में हैं। इस वीडियो में हम इन्हीं 5 लोगों के बारे में बात करेंगे which are a part of influencer agencies. So let's get started.
Oh yeah, so this is based on insider reports from a whistleblower email. I got that email too, but I wasn't aware of it for a long time. It was in my spam folder till somebody actually pointed it out to me. So I've been aware of it for a couple of weeks now. But again, like I said, I've kind of tried to stay out of all of this, stay in my lane, cover certain devices, not really go through a lot of drama with getting review units from India. If you've seen me for the last few years, I've been mostly buying my own devices. I just buy them from China. I cover what I find interesting. A lot of you guys have asked me, who are you doing this for? I do it because the tech is interesting. And I really don't want to deal with all the crap that we're going to see here. We'll get to it. Let's continue.
पिछले 4 या 5 साल में पूरा डिजिटल क्रिएटर लैंडस्केप चेंज हो चुका है और बहुत ज़्यादा ग्रो करा है। अगर मैं आपसे कहूं कि पिछले 4 या 5 साल में बहुत सारे टेक क्रिएटर्स ऐसे हैं जो आपसे कॉन्स्टेंटली झूठ बोल रहे हैं, अगर मैं आपसे कहूं कि बहुत सारे आपके फेवरेट टेक क्रिएटर्स सिर्फ पपेट्स बन के रह गए हैं, और अगर मैं आपसे ये कहूं कि इन सब चीज़ों के पीछे मास्टरमाइंड सिर्फ 4 या 5 लोग हैं। हमें ये रिपोर्ट्स काफ़ी टाइम से इंडस्ट्री से इंटरनली मिल रही थी, बट एक रीसेंट विसल ब्लोअर ईमेल ने इस पूरी चीज़ को ओपन बुक की तरह हमारे सामने रख दिया है। ये पूरा स्कैम बहुत ही सीरियस है, और अगर ये सच है तो ये एलिगेशंस बहुत ज़्यादा इम्प्लीकेशंस क्रिएट करती हैं और ये इन्वेस्टिगेट होनी चाहिए। ये पूरी चीज़ जो है सिर्फ 4 स्टेप्स में ऑर्केस्ट्रेट करी जाती है।
4 steps of execution.
तो ये पूरा स्कैम कैसे काम करता है? लेट्स फाइंड आउट विद स्टेप 1, विच इज़ कंट्रोलिंग द मार्केट। ये लोग एक तरफ क्रिएटर को जाके बोलते हैं हमारे साथ काम करो, हम आपको बिजनेस ला के देंगे। अगर क्रिएटर नहीं मानता तो उसको बोलते हैं अगर हमारे साथ काम नहीं करोगे तो ना आपको बिजनेस आएगा, बट हम आपको ब्लैक लिस्ट भी करा देंगे, और एडिटोरियली भी आपको डिवाइसेस आने बंद हो जाएंगे। तो नॉट ओनली आपका पेड वर्क इफेक्ट होगा, बट आपको डिवाइसेस नॉर्मली जो डिवाइसेस रिव्यू के लिए आते हैं विदाउट एनी पेमेंट, वो भी आने बंद हो जाएंगे। इससे क्रिएटर्स घबरा के इनके साथ ज्वाइन कर लेते हैं, और वो भी उन रेट्स पे जो ये एजेंसी सेट करती हैं, नॉट द क्रिएटर्स प्राइसेस। ऑन द अदर साइड, ब्रांड्स को कैसे कंट्रोल करते हैं? ब्रांड को जाके बोलते हैं आप।
Now this part, my experience has been a little different. I've never had anybody come and tell me, okay, you know what? Guys, I'm very new to OBS, so bear with me. So for me, my experience hasn't been exactly this way. I've never had people come and tell me, you don't work with us, we will blacklist you. That's probably because I've been around a lot longer. My beard's starting to turn gray and everything. I've been doing this for 12 plus 13 years now, I suppose. So I have direct contacts with most brands. So I used to work with them directly, and while they have not exactly told me you'll get blacklisted, it's kind of happened in that way. And I will explain that. How it works is they've approached me, different agencies, on if I want to work with them on something, and for various reasons I've not done it, which again, as the video progresses on, I will explain. And when I turn them down, slowly my review units have stopped coming. Anyways, let's get back.
ये 40-50 क्रिएटर्स हमारे साथ काम कर रहे हैं, और अगर आप हमारे साथ काम करेंगे तो हम ये 40-50 लोगों से आपके लिए रिव्यूज़ बनवाएंगे, और अच्छे रिव्यूज़ बनवाएंगे. ऑन द फ्लिप साइड, अगर ब्रांड नहीं एग्री करता तो ब्रांड को बोलते हैं कि अगर आप हमारे साथ काम नहीं करेंगे तो ये 40-50 क्रिएटर्स हमारे साथ काम करते हैं, ये आपके प्रोडक्ट्स के बारे में नेगेटिव रिव्यूज़ लिखेंगे और नेगेटिव ओपिनियन छोड़ेंगे अपने यूट्यूब और इंस्टाग्राम पे.
Now, I have heard these kind of things happen in the industry. I have heard from people working at brands. Some of my contacts and certain other creators tell me I've heard of this kind of things happen. Now, personally, to me, here's where the blacklisting part comes in, right? So when you're not working with them directly, so if you're not doing a paid promotion for various reasons, so the reasons we'll get to, if you're not doing that, around 4-5 years back when I left India, that's around the point where first brand to do this was Samsung, and then it kind of got adopted by more and more brands. If you're not doing a promotional campaign, you don't get sent review units. So this is why I did that Samsung video a long time ago. That's the first time I came across it. So basically, no paid promotions equals no review units. And here's the problem, right? When you do a paid promotion, when you're working with these brands on content, what happens is you get the device a week, 2 weeks. Okay, let's not be too generous. A week, 10 days in advance at least. And then there is an embargo date. That is the date your video goes live, which is the day of the launch. So there's a lot of hype surrounding stuff, and YouTube is more algorithm based. When there is hype and people are talking about a certain product, a video on that product gets pushed to more people. You get more reach. That's how YouTube works these days. The subscription counts aren't as important as they used to be. So now what happens when you aren't really working with the brands and you still don't get review units for organic reviews either? Then you need to buy the device yourself. The day of the launch, the day when the videos go live, is when the sale date is announced, which is usually 5 days, 7 days from that day. And then for the device to arrive to you, it takes another 3 days, 2-3 days at least. So that's videos go live, paid videos go live on this day, sale day is 5 days later, and then the device you get 3 days after that, so that's 8 days. And after that, you test the device for a week, 15 days, 2 days for production, 17 days later, almost 3 weeks later, if you're posting a video, nobody's really talking about it anymore, right? It's basically, when I used to do that, when I post the video, people are asking about the next phone that has just launched at that point. Hey, when are you going to cover that? And people don't really care about those videos. Usually you see people saying, hey, if you're honest, people will watch. And that's true. There are, the 30 squad who do still watch. I'm not saying no. But here's the thing. The difference between going live on day one and going live 2.5 weeks later, if you go live on day one, you'd probably end up with, say, 100,000 views. 2.5 weeks later, you end up with like 10,000, 15,000 views. And this works against you with the algorithm. So when your video is underperforming, YouTube sees that as an underperforming video. So when this video goes live, your next video gets pushed to even fewer people. Anyways, I'm getting too much into YouTube off topic. So let's get back.
तो ब्रांड को भी स्ट्रॉन्ग आर्म करा जा रहा है, बट इसमें एक थर्ड ऑप्शन भी है. अगर इन दोनों केसेस में ब्रांड आपके पॉकेट में नहीं आ रहा तो आप ब्रांड मैनेजर को ही अपने पॉकेट में कर लो. एक ऐसा मैनेजर जो ब्रांड में काम करता है, उसको किकबैक्स ऑफर करो, उसको पैसे ऑफर करो, उसको बिजनेस करने का एक डिफरेंट तरीका बताओ, और ये पूरे मार्केट को आप कंट्रोल कर लेते हो. अगर ये
Now this part, again, I cannot 100% say it's happening, but I will tell you my own experience and you guys figure from that. So one experience is like there's a certain person who used to work for a certain brand, and I used to deal with them a lot with respect to review units being sent. This is like 5-6 years back, right? Get review units sent and everything, and it was all perfectly fine. And then they leave that brand and go to a different brand. And now in this brand, there's one agency that controls all devices going out and everything. Now, though I am on good terms with this person who's a brand representative, all of a sudden, we have nice conversations, but when it comes to review units, oh yeah, you know what, I will try to get the Europe team or the China team or somebody else to send you units. From India it's going to be difficult. Again, though I live in UAE, they don't really ship units to me to UAE. A lot of brands, they ship it to somebody in India, and then I have it couriered here, or I have somebody hand carry it here. It's like a long way of doing it. But this has happened for me with multiple brands, wherein though at one point I was working with these brand contacts, the after a certain period where more and more of these agencies started, what do you say, everything started being routed through the agencies. Now, is this because they were getting kickbacks, or is this because they wanted certain things said, like say for example, do not call the back as plastic, call it as a glassy finish. Real conversation with a real brand, okay, call it as a glassy finish, though it's polycarbonate. Do not say it's polycarbonate, do not say it's plastic. Now if a brand tells me that directly, and then I go on a video and say, hey guys, you know what, XYZ brand, they don't want this called as plastic, they want it to be called as a glassy finish, right? Now the brand gets hate. So do they want to put a middleman in via an agency? I don't know. Or are they getting kickbacks and they want to route everything through an agency? I don't know. But that's been my experience. Anyways, moving on.
मार्केट कंट्रोल की इन्फॉर्मेशन सच है तो ये बहुत ही सीरियस एलिगेशन है और इलीगल भी है। ये फ्री मार्केट के साथ इंटरफेयर करता है और मार्केट मैनिपुलेशन कहा जाता है। इसको कोलूजन भी कहा जाता है। आपने एक वर्ड सुना होगा, मोनोपोली। मोनोपोली तब होती है जब एक सिंगल कंपनी पूरी मार्केट को कंट्रोल कर लेती है। मोस्टली सारे कंट्रीज में इलीगल होता है, बट मोनोपोली से जुड़ा हुआ एक और वर्ड है, ये बोलने में थोड़ा मुश्किल है बट याद करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। इसको ओलिगोपोली बोलते हैं। ओलिगोपोली में सिर्फ कुछ 4 या 5 कंपनीज ऐसी होती हैं जो कोलूजन से आपस में मिलके पूरी मार्केट को कंट्रोल कर लेते हैं। इससे क्या होता है कि नॉट ओनली मार्केट का बिजनेस खराब होता है, बट इनोवेशन कंप्लीटली एंड हो जाता है, कंपटीशन कंप्लीटली एंड हो जाता है, और यहाँ पे भी कुछ ऐसा ही पर्पस लगता है। अगर ये सब चीज़ें सच हैं तो ये सीरियसली इन्वेस्टिगेट होनी चाहिए, नॉट ओनली बाय द ब्रांड्स बट ऑल्सो बाय गवर्नमेंटल एजेंसीज। उसके बाद नेक्स्ट स्टेप की तरफ चलते हैं, विच इज़ कंट्रोलिंग द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। ब्रांड्स के यूजली 2 ऑप्शंस होते हैं, एडिटोरियली या पेड। अगर एडिटोरियली करना है तो एक पीआर एजेंसी हैंडल करती है, और अगर पेड करना है तो एक मार्केटिंग एजेंसी हैंडल करती है। बट ये 5 एजेंसीज ने क्या करा है कि ये सब चीज़ें कंबाइन कर दी हैं, तो एडिटोरियल और पेड ये लोग डिसाइड करते हैं किसके पास डिवाइसेस जाएंगे।
Yeah, see, this is the part I was talking about, where devices get routed through agencies, and it's basically only if you're working on, okay, not just only with certain brands, it's only if you're working on paid promotions do they even send you a device. With certain brands, the agencies, they prefer, you know, if they are making money of creator X, okay, and wouldn't it be, and they don't have the budgets to send that creator a paid promotion unit, wouldn't it make more sense for them to stay on good terms with the creator and send them a unit directly, even an editorial unit, rather than to say me or Bharat? I don't know. So it kind of started to get skewered at one point, where if you're not working on paid promotions, you're not getting review units.
अब बिकॉज ब्रांड मैनेजर्स और ब्रांड्स को हमने कंट्रोल कर लिया है, तो हम डिसाइड करेंगे कि कौन सी डिवाइस किसको जाएगी और कौन सी डिवाइस किसको नहीं जाएगी। ये लोग डिसाइड करते हैं, ना कि ब्रांड, कि कौन सा क्रिएटर इनके साथ काम करेगा, कौन सा क्रिएटर फेवरेबल है, कौन।
Yeah, the follow instructions part, yes, like this is around 2018-19 maybe, where the number of instructions we started. See, I understand if you're doing a paid promotion, a video marked paid promotion, let's say, now let's say Apple, I've never done a paid promotion with Apple never does paid promotions in India. They are probably, to this entire stuff, there are 2 brands who I would consider totally exempt from all of this. There used to be 3, but now I'm hearing that Xiaomi is working on a lot of paid promotions recently, so I don't know. I've never experienced Xiaomi do it, but then units and everything, that problem exists. Apple and Google, they just don't, it's not like they are very ethical, they just don't consider India a huge enough market or what, I don't know. I've never had any kind of you should say this, you should say that from either of those brands, and even Asus for that matter. Asus, I don't think I think back when the ROG Phone 1 came, there was a directive from Qualcomm where you were not supposed to call the Snapdragon 845 as a overclocked version. I think that's the only thing that's I remember Asus saying I can or cannot do. But barring that, Asus Pixel and Google, I'm sorry, not Google, Apple, every other brand, these kind of instructions, and okay, I'm sorry, I kind of got sidetracked. Uh, so basically, if you're doing a paid promotion, let's say Apple wanted me to do a paid promotion on the 16 Pro Max, and let's say they wanted me to highlight the cameras, then of course they tell me, hey, this is what we've done with the cameras. We want you to talk about this, talk about that, which is perfectly fine. I do a video, hey guys, you know what, I'm working with Apple today, and Apple wanted me to educate you on what they've done with the cameras, and then I talk about the points that they want me to talk about, which is fine, right? As long as it's clearly mentioned that it's a promotional video. But this is not how things went. Even on a editorial video, we started getting so many things, like silly things. Like I remember there was a TV back when there was a cable from the TV that was like they called it a NVC something cable. Okay, and they insisted that you call it a NVC, I don't remember, it's a Samsung thing. Okay, I said I'm not going to name brands. Samsung, forget it. I'm already blacklisted. What do I care? Right? So, there was so much back and forth on like, you need to mention it this way. And it started growing more and more. I remember having like a 25-minute call with a certain brand. This is not an agency, direct brand, where I think it was an editorial video, and they just were insisting that I don't call the back as plastic. They wanted me to just use the term, it has a glassy finish. That's what I was telling you guys a little while back. And when I said, no, it's plastic, they said, you know what, talk to a product team. And they got me a product manager on the phone who read through the entire specs for 15 minutes. I'm like, I don't understand how this has anything to do with the back not being plastic. You guys understand it's not glass, right? Yeah, but it's a glassy finish. I know, but it's plastic, right? Yeah, but it's a glassy finish. This kind of instructions from brands kept getting really bad. And once agencies were involved, these were not even conversations anymore. These were all emails where this, put this hashtag, this needs to be done. You cannot mention this. You cannot mention that. Like, for example, you're doing a A series phone. You cannot mention a FE phone. Okay, even if it is the same specs and price cheaper, you're not allowed to mention it. It got really irritating like this. Anyways, let's move on.
कौन सा क्रिएटर इनकी बातें सुनेगा? उस क्रिएटर को ये लोग काम देते हैं, चाहे पेड या अनपेड, डिवाइसेस और नो डिवाइसेस। 3, कंट्रोलिंग द नैरेटिव। ये लोग डिसाइड करते हैं कि आपका कंटेंट कैसे बनेगा। इस केस में सिर्फ आपके जितने भी फेवरेट क्रिएटर्स हैं वो सिर्फ पपेट्स बन के रह जाते हैं। ये लोग कहते हैं कि आपका टाइटल ऐसा होना चाहिए, आपकी डिस्क्रिप्शन में ये
ब्रांड हैशटैग्स एंड लिंक्स
लिखा होना चाहिए।
Yeah.
आप जब वीडियो शूट करेंगे तो बैकग्राउंड पे ब्लू कलर नहीं होना चाहिए, बैकग्राउंड पे रेड कलर नहीं होना चाहिए।
Thumbnail image, oh damn it, sorry.
जब वीडियो शूट करेंगे तो
Thumbnail image needs to be clean and showcase the product's USPs and all its glory. What the hell? Mandatory to mention about color changing.
बैकग्राउंड पे ब्लू कलर नहीं होना चाहिए,
No comparison to be made with a competition device until last.
बैकग्राउंड पे रेड कलर नहीं होना चाहिए।
Okay. Yeah, I haven't experienced, like, yeah, I have, like, for example, again, sometimes it's fair, like, for example, Apple is paying me to talk about the cameras. They don't want me to mention Samsung in it, which kind of makes sense. It's an educational video where I'm giving you a disclaimer. I can understand that, but these are what he is talking about here. These are videos that are marketed, that come out without a disclaimer, and then they are marketed as reviews. So, yeah. And I've never experienced don't put this color, that color, and all that in not from an agency, not from a brand. That's just, I
यहाँ
haven't
तक कि
experienced it.
एग्जैक्ट वर्ड्स बताए जाते हैं जो उनको बोलने होते हैं। क्रिएटर्स ये वर्ड्स अपनी वीडियोस में बोलते हैं और हम सुनते आ रहे हैं। क्रिएटर्स ये हैशटैग्स अपने टाइटल
Oh yeah, so I have, talking about this, I've had this experience where, I have even when I'm working on a paid promotion for a brand, I always have this rule where I do not send in my script or my video for approval. But then in the last 5 years, it's become almost mandatory. I only work with the 1 or 2 brands who don't expect that of me. But it's become almost mandatory that you need to send a script in, get it approved. They will change around all the words, and then you will need to send in a video and they'll have to get it approved. I've not had that experience in over 8-9 years. I did it once or twice very early on in my career where I didn't know I can dispute it because I thought that's how things worked. And once I realized that was BS, because then the video was becoming like an ad. It has none of my own, it's not me anymore, right? When they are giving me a script and I'm just reading it. Like even now, if you look at it from a channel sponsor perspective, what do I have? Just Stan Bernick. Why? Because they don't really care what I say. I throw it in at any point. I just talk about it. I put it any way I want. They send me the devices and they're happy with whatever kind of coverage I give. And that's basically the kind of sponsors I go for, where I get to do what I do. And if there, I don't, like, again, I tell brands I'm perfectly fine getting on a call and discussing what the video needs to be if I'm working on a paid promotion. But I don't think I should be sending them my script or my final video, and that just becomes too much of a hassle. It makes it very inauthentic. And I mean, if they wanted to upload it to their channel, then I'm perfectly fine with it. You know, if you're looking at me talking about a product on, say, XYZ brand's page, and it's mentioned as a, hey, this is an ad, then cool. I'll read any script. Perfect. Pay me. Cool. But if it's going on my channel, then it needs to be authentic in any ways. Anyways, moving on.
में डालते हैं एवरीथिंग इज स्क्रिप्टेड, कुछ नहीं ओपिनियन रह जाता क्रिएटर का, सब कुछ क्रिएटर स्क्रिप्ट से पढ़ के बोलता है।
Yes,
ये
this
वीडियोस
is what I was
पहले
talking
ब्रांड्स
about.
के पास और एजेंसीज के पास जाती हैं वेरिफिकेशन के लिए और चेंजेस के लिए। अगर आपने कुछ नेगेटिव बोला है गलती से तो उसको निकाल दिया।
Once a script concept is agreed on mutually, it should not be changed without mutual agreement. Exactly.
जाता
This
है
part,
ये
yeah.
2 या 3 बार
Amen.
वीडियोस को रिव्यू करते हैं, फाइनल
Once content is reviewed 3-4 times and scripts are reviewed 3-4 times, then permission is given to upload the content. Yeah, I've not had to deal with it, but I don't think it's 3-4 times. I mean, it's just like one time. Probably they ask for changes and the creator makes changes and go through the cycle. Yeah, maybe.
Let's go to
Getting
the
out of
fourth
the
step.
drama.
Fourth
I
step
have
is
nothing to say
kingmaker. अब ये
on
40-50
this.
क्रिएटर हमारे साथ काम करते हैं, हमें इनको सबसे बड़ा क्रिएटर कैसे
this one,
बनाना
yes.
है। इन 40-50 क्रिएटर्स को हम आर्टिफिशियली बूस्ट करेंगे, इनकी वीडियोस पे व्यूज डलवाएंगे, इनके वीडियोस पे लाइक्स डलवाएंगे, यहाँ तक कि
Guys, if you look at my Instagram, you know that I almost never post to it. So Instagram part, I really do not know. YouTube, I don't pay much attention because Social Current, I think, are working more with regional creators. I don't understand Hindi, so I really do not know what's going on with this. Personally, I have no info on this.
इनके कमेंट्स भी हम कंट्रोल करते हैं। इसके अलावा जो क्रिएटर हमारे साथ काम नहीं करता उनके कमेंट्स भी हम कंट्रोल करते हैं। उनकी वीडियोस पे नेगेटिव कमेंट्स, उनके अपीयरेंस के ऊपर कमेंट्स, उनके काम करने के तरीके के ऊपर कमेंट्स, उनके ऊपर नेगेटिव कमेंट्स छोड़ के ये पूरी मार्केट को मैंने
This part, I have a slightly different take on it because how I see it is it's not like they're using bots to do it. But again, guys, like I told you, when a device comes out, today is the launch and you've already seen like a bucket load of people paint a very nice, rosy, beautiful picture of said product. Then 3 weeks later, there's a creator, say Bharat or me or whoever else it is, doing a video saying, hey, there are these problems. Phone is super thin and everything, but maybe it's got a problem. Or the phone's display is beautiful, but maybe the chip is bad. Or maybe something like that. Then obviously for people who've already, in their minds, they've seen coverage about this 3 weeks back from their favorite creators that they trust and everyone's been nice about it. So now they think, oh yeah, this guy didn't get a unit, so he's just rambling. See, get rid of your personal preference, you have messed the settings, biased AF, it's and paid review, the competition paid them for it. So that's one thing, guys. I've never experienced a competing brand paying you. I've never experienced, even with say somebody like Samsung pay me to say bad things about an iPhone. Like in an iPhone review, if it's a comparison, yeah, I've seen comparison scripts and offers go through my mail. I've seen, as in brands reach out to me for it, but I've never seen personally any brand saying, okay, there's a new Xiaomi product, so go do a negative video about it, we'll pay you for it. I've never experienced that myself. So these kind of comments, personally, I think it's like once it's been established on day one and on launch day that this product is good and everything, and then say 4 weeks later, 3 weeks later, you're doing a video and you're actually organically, you've bought the device and you're covering it, people already have a preconceived notion that this is a good product, so they tend to be dismissive of what you're saying. I don't think it's bots. Again, just my personal opinion.
रिलेट करते हैं, अपने क्रिएटर्स को बड़ा बनाते हैं, दूसरे क्रिएटर्स को डिस्करेज करते हैं और उनके कंटेंट को खराब करते हैं और मार्केट
The discouragement is very, very real, because for me, over time, it just becomes so stressful. Again, this is not a part of my work that I've ever spoken about. I don't think I should. I'm not sure if I should now either. It becomes very difficult to write certain videos. Like usually when I'm buying a phone by myself and it's not really covered by many people, for me to write a script, it takes me like just a few hours, after I do my research and then I just sit, I'm like writing, done. Now, if I'm covering something that's already been covered and a precedent has been set, these days especially, I don't watch other creator videos because it kind of either makes me mad that they're omitting something so glaring, or it just makes me feel like, okay, what else am I gonna say now that's not been said already, right? So and when I'm writing my scripts, it's just if it's been covered a lot already, it feels like, there is either positive or negative. There's a tone that's been set already. Now, what I say, I'm only gonna get people calling me biased if my video doesn't end up in line with what has already been said. Say a phone with a Dimensity 7050. I don't like the processor. I feel there's a different phone in that segment with, say, a Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 3 that I think is a better deal. But if this product has already been covered by like 50, 60 creators and everybody said nice things about it for the reasons that Bharat is listing here, then coming out and saying it means having to go through a lot of toxicity in the comments, and it kind of eats away at you as a creator, which is why for me, I've been more and more moving towards, covering the devices that most people don't cover. So that I just get to say whatever it is that I like to say without having to deal with all this toxicity. But anyways, moving on.
को उनके कंटेंट को देखने से रोकते हैं। इसमें एक और एस्पेक्ट आ जाता है, ये लोग डिसाइड करते हैं कि फोन का रिलीज डेट कब होगा, लॉन्च डेट कब होगा,
They internally decide phone will be released, launched,
और अवेलेबिलिटी कब होगी। डिवाइसेस अपने क्रिएटर्स को 15 से 20 दिन पहले भेज दिए जाते हैं लॉन्च डेट से। अपने क्रिएटर्स को वीडियोस बनाने को बोला
This is
जाता
the
है
part I
जो
was talking about.
अवेलेबिलिटी से 15 दिन पहले होता है।
I don't know if it's the agencies who are deciding the dates. I have no information about it anyway, but how it affects the creator, I already told
एज
you
अ
guys.
क्रिएटर, अगर आप इन लोगों के साथ काम नहीं करते तो आपको डिवाइस अगर खरीदना है तो लॉन्च होने के 15 दिन बाद आप डिवाइस खरीदेंगे, तब तक पूरी मार्केट में हाइप खत्म हो गई होगी और YouTube एल्गोरिथम आपको सपोर्ट नहीं करेगा। जहां आप
Yes.
अगर 100,000 1 लाख व्यूज करते थे, अब आपकी वीडियो को सिर्फ 1-2 हज़ार व्यूज मिलेंगे, बिकॉज जो
20,000
प्रोडक्ट है उसके रिव्यूज जा
probably.
चुके हैं, एंड एज अ क्रिएटर यू जस्ट कैन नॉट सर्वाइव, एंड दिस इज अगेन फ्री मार्केट में।
This especially becomes a lot more of a problem when it comes to the mid-rangers and the lower-end phones, because they are launching at such a breakneck pace that you're seeing like new phones every week, every 2 weeks, with same chip, same everything, and every phone that launches has like 3 different variants. Like there's a Pro, there's a Pro Plus, or a Pro Max, or a standard version, there's a light version. So it becomes like there's so many things launching. People's attentions are constantly being pulled. 15 days, 20 days, I might as well do a video 3 years from now. That's the kind of traction I'm going to get.
Manipulation. This is a serious crime, and there is an agency called the CCI, which has been established in India, जो इन सब चीज़ों को टैकल करती है और इन सब चीज़ों के अगेंस्ट लॉज क्रिएट करती है। और ये ऑलिगोपोली CCI के एक अमेंडमेंट में 2012 में सेक्शन 4 में मेंशन किया गया है, और अगर ये एग्जिस्ट करता है तो बहुत ही खराब है मार्केट के लिए। हम लोग कुछ इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट्स और कुछ लॉयर्स के साथ ऑलरेडी मूव कर रहे हैं इस इंफॉर्मेशन को CCI में सबमिट करने के लिए। तो ये जो 4 स्टेप्स है, ये आपको बहुत मेजरली इफेक्ट करते हैं। कुछ लोग जो सिर्फ 15,000 से 20,000 रुपए महीने के कमाते हैं, वो अगर एक
Those people who earn 15, 20, if they are relatively expensive, okay.
बहुत ही एक्सपेंसिव फ़ोन खरीदते हैं जो 15 से 30,000 रुपए का आता है, उनके लिए वो फ़ोन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। अगर वो ये फ़ोन किसी पॉपुलर रिव्यूअर को देख के ले रहे हैं तो वो एक बहुत ही बड़े स्कैम में फंस रहे हैं।
No, honestly, guys, this is why, to people who talk to me in my Discord, people I talk to in the comments, I always tell them, don't buy anything based on YouTube reviews. Go on Reddit, look at what people are saying, what's the common consensus. It's not always right, because as I said, the common consensus is what they're influencing by controlling when videos come out. But at least you get real people's response. Don't go on Twitter. Twitter is basically complaints. All you get is like, oh, this is a scam, my screen broke, so nobody buy this phone. Again, I'm not talking about the green line. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying it's amplified. Go on Reddit, see what people are saying, see what other people, any other forums you can find, look at genuine impressions, and then you can use YouTube to basically see all the features in real time, like a live demo. That's kind of how I use it when I'm looking to buy handhelds and all that. So yeah, moving on.
ये रिव्यूअर्स इन डिवाइसेस को बहुत पॉजिटिवली प्रमोट करते हैं. एक एग्जांपल और दूंगा. हमारे नोन में एक रिव्यूअर है जिन्होंने एक रिसेंटली सैमसंग का फ़ोन रिव्यू करा था और बहुत हाई प्रेज दी थी. हमारे एक नोन पर्सन ने उनको फ़ोन करा और पूछा, आपने ये सैमसंग के फ़ोन को बहुत ही अच्छा रिव्यू करा है, क्या मैं ये फ़ोन अपनी ग्रैंड मदर के लिए खरीद लूँ? तो उन्होंने बोला, बिल्कुल भी नहीं, ये फ़ोन मत खरीदिए, ये फ़ोन बहुत ही ख़राब है. ये हमारा पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस है.
Okay.
बट अगर आप लोग हमसे ये पूछेंगे, हम ये वीडियो क्यों बना रहे हैं, अगर हम जेलस हैं, अगर हमारे पास काम नहीं आ रहा, अगर मैं ये पैसे के लिए कर रहा हूँ, तो कुछ लोग तो ऐसे हैं जो ये चैनल बहुत टाइम से देख रहे हैं. हम लोग ये ऑलमोस्ट 14 ईयर से कर रहे हैं.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a year longer than me.
And I do this because I love technology, and I do this because I love creating content. And
Now, if somebody else had done this video, to be perfectly honest, I would have just chalked it up to like, guys, salty. Because most times when you see it, there are people that you guys probably call as honest, okay, always get grouped with me. And you see those people technically, when they are taking a shot at a brand, it's because they have a personal bone to pick with said brand. Okay, it's almost always, there are these big names that Bharat spoke about in this video. If you look at the early part of their career, they made a name for themselves by basically taking shots at brands all the time. And if you look at their career in between the breaks where they suddenly took a brand's phone and broke it, that would be closely followed by a few weeks later them getting their hands on a prototype that very few people have gotten their hands on. Again, I don't want to name names, but it's basically whenever there's a shot being taken, people are talking shit about something. It is usually answered with the brands paying them to keep quiet and stuff like that. Most of the times, I'm saying there are exceptions. I've done the Samsung video as well. I did that to break my contract and not really work with Samsung afterwards, and I did get blacklisted for it. But what I'm saying is most of the times I would have dismissed it. This video, I would have dismissed it as, okay, fine, he has a bone to pick. But Bharat, I've known him. We didn't really start off on great terms early on. But then I did run into him, I think, at the OnePlus 7 Pro McLaren event in UK. And since then we've stayed in touch, and when the more we spoke, the more we realized we did share a lot of common opinions. Till then, basically, to be perfectly honest, I hated Bharat, right? There was this one time where on his website, they used a screenshot from my video, and I called them out on Twitter asking for them to like give me credit. And then I just got blocked. And I was like, man, this guy's a dick, right? So when I met him in UK, I was like, dude, what the fuck? And he was like, I have no clue what happened. Somebody working for it did it, and then he got me unblocked, and then we started talking, and it was like a huge miscommunication or something. So anyways, because it's Bharat and I know it, and honestly, he is one of those people who doesn't really need to do this. Sorry guys, I live in the UAE, meaning I cannot record for more than 30 minutes. My camera gets heated up. My room gets super warm, so I need to take breaks in between. My videos usually don't take this long. So anyways, let's go back. Okay, I was talking about Bharat. So the more I spoke to Bharat, I kind of realized that he also has this urge to want to constantly improve himself with respect to it's not like be proud of the fact that, hey, you know what, I have been doing videos for X years now. I still pretty much, put on pointers and speak my stuff, whatever brands want me to, and I'm so happy there's no improvement in my videos. No, he constantly tries to I'm not saying everything Bharat or I do is like great. It's just that we want to try to keep improving. We keep trying different things. And that's a point that we kind of, started liking each other for because we could see that urge to want to keep doing new things with our channels. So anyway, which way, since he did this video, for me, it added a lot more credibility to the point he was talking about. Okay, let's move on.
and sharing it with people. अगर ये मैं पैसे के लिए कर रहा होता तो आपने भी मुझे ये बैंड वैगन ज्वाइन करते हुए देख लिया होता। हमारे पास भी बहुत ऑफर्स एंड ऑप्शंस आते हैं ऐसी चीज़ें करने के लिए। हमारे पास भी बहुत सारे कैंपेन्स आते हैं जिसमें हमें प्रीव्यूज़ देने होते हैं और स्क्रिप्ट्स देनी होती है, बट हम ये सब रिजेक्ट कर देते हैं। आज की डेट में कोई
Yeah, see, this is kind of stupid, right? Like, again, I have done this more in Tamil than in English, but then, why I get annoyed at certain creators, and sometimes it seep through, though I try not to really talk about anybody. It's because, like, a brand is going as backwards, right? They have glass on their phone, and the next gen phone now comes with plastic, and I see the creator going, guys, you will definitely, love this color. Just look at the color. I mean, it's a job to point it out. Hey, they've increased the price and now they're offering plastic instead of glass. Not just sweep it under the rug. I mean, if you have a paid promotion disclaimer, at least I can understand where you're coming from. But then just to overact, and again, that kind of really turns me off of YouTube these days, wherein like everything needs to be hyper. It's not like, hey, this phone looks nice, and it's like, oh my god, guys, look at this phone, so amazing, this gold color. I cannot speak that way. I really don't. I've never met anybody who speaks that way 24/7. I've met these creators in life. They don't speak that way in real life. Anyway, that's a different rant for a different day. Hopefully, I'll never do it because it's going to be really stupid. But anyways, moving on.
भी ऐसी एजेंसी या कोई भी ऐसा ब्रांड सामने आके ये बोल दे कि हमने कभी उनकी स्क्रिप्ट को फॉलो करा है तो हम मान जाएंगे। हमने ये कभी नहीं करा, बिकॉज जो मैं कंटेंट बनाता हूँ वो मेरा ओपिनियन होता है, चाहे वो पॉजिटिव हो नेगेटिव हो, चाहे आपको अच्छा लगे या ना लगे, वो मेरा ओपिनियन होता है और वो चीज़ कोई बंदा कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकता और ना मैंने कभी कंट्रोल करने दिया है। जो विसल ब्लोअर की ईमेल आई है इस वीडियो के एंड पे भी आप पढ़ सकते हैं। आपके क्या थॉट्स हैं इस एलिजिड स्कैम के बारे में, हमें ज़रूर बताएं। और आपको क्या लगता है कि ये सब अलाउड होना चाहिए या ये फ्री मार्केट में ये सब चीज़ें इन्वेस्टिगेट होनी चाहिए? अगर आपके क्रिएटर भी यही कर रहे हैं, पर्सनली वो इंटरनली आईफोन यूज़ कर रहे हैं बट कैमरा पे सिर्फ
Why, Bharat? Why? The video that I react to when I'm showing an iPhone. Guys, I use iPhones for like 2 weeks a year and I really hate it. Not because I hate the phone. See, I'm also using a Pixel watch because I need to track certain things and it doesn't pair with the iPhone. And I'm like, damn it, I don't have an Apple Watch. So, I mean, it has nothing to do with the video. It's just that he was talking about creators who use iPhones and talk about other stuff. And I'm like, hey, I am using an iPhone right now.
आप कोई और डिवाइस यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो आपको इस चीज़ से अवेयर होना ज़रूरी है। ये आपको अफेक्ट कर रहा है, आपके हज़ारों करोड़ रुपए इसमें जा रहे हैं। अगर ये लोग 200 करोड़ रुपए का बिजनेस कर रहे हैं तो आप इमेजिन कर।
See, the money is real. So here's a part that I should have probably spoken about earlier in this video because people drop off all the time, but this is something important. So how it works with agencies is that when they are bidding to a brand to get a contract on a campaign, they usually charge the brand a certain percentage of the overall contract. And these campaigns are huge, right? They could be tens of crores of money, and when they are charging 10% on it, that's substantial money, right? Now, what happened was that at one point, these agencies, say for example, a creator is charging 50,000 rupees. Now, the agency quotes that price as 2.5 lakhs to the brand because the creator doesn't know how much they should be charging. This is a true story. It happened with a certain agency, and what they did was instead of when they were sending me a mail, they sent an entire chain mail by mistake. And I flew to Delhi. I met with the brand in question, and I kind of exposed the agency and got them kicked out. This was like, again, 8 years ago. I don't know, whenever it is that I did my fan meetups phase, it was around that time. So at that point, it was a big enough issue for a brand to kick out an agency. But these days, it's just seen as normal. So agencies kind of double bill. They charge brands a certain percentage of the overall campaign cost, and to the creators as well. There are some people who are at least transparent and tell you, you know what, you want X, I'm going to charge the brand X plus 20% or X plus 30%, which is insane. But at least they do. But a lot of agencies, they don't even tell you that. They just basically take stuff and then they give the brand a different amount and they charge them. But here's where, when you are somebody like me or Bharat or even other names on this list who have direct contacts with brands, they can't really push like quote a wrong rate to the brand. So then they try to push other creators in, and it's a huge cycle. So it used to be basically, the long story short, it used to be there is a cost to the campaign. Agency gets the campaign done. They charge the brand a percentage. This could, in my experience from hearsay, what I know is it can vary between 8 to 20%. Now, agencies, instead of just doing that, now they're taking creator rates and also boosting it to the brand and then getting the money, strong arming the brand, kickbacks or whatever. I don't know. Speculate on it, feel free. Doing that. And then they're also boosting these prices. The creators don't see the money either.
हो कि ओवरऑल कितनी सेल्स हो रही हैं कि 200 करोड़ रुपए का मार्केटिंग एक्सपेंडिचर करा जा रहा है टू प्रमोट दीज डिवाइसेस। ये सब चीज़ें सोचनी आपको ज़रूरी है। ये स्टोरी यहीं ख़त्म नहीं होती, इसके दो पहलू और हैं, ब्रांड मैनेजर्स एंड आपके फेवरेट टेक कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स, इनकी क्या इन्वॉल्व।
Yeah, I don't think I'll react to that. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to really stay out of it. But this one, at least, I wanted to give my sides of things. Because I saw like around 5-6 minutes of this video initially, and I felt like there's a lot of what he's talking about. I can actually validate it. I can actually say I have had a very similar experience. So finally, when somebody is actually putting in the effort to talk about it, the least I can do is say, hey, it's not BS. I've experienced this as well. So again, when it involves other creators, do I want the toxicity? Because obviously people are going to react and then it's going to be a huge, anyways, I don't know if I'll do a react video to that.
है इसमें, हम उसके बारे में बात करेंगे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में। अब इस पूरी स्टोरी के बाद ब्रांड्स को क्या करना चाहिए। ब्रांड्स के पास एक बहुत ही सिंपल और स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड वे आउट है। अपने सारे प्रोसेसेस को एग्जामिन करें और देखें कि ऐसी चीज़ें क्यों हो पा रही हैं। अपने कंपनीज में इन्वेस्टिगेशंस रन करें और ऐसे जो लोग इस स्कैम में इन्वॉल्व हैं, अगर ये स्कैम सच है तो उन लोगों को हटा।
Yeah, they do it, but they're just not efficient about it. I have heard of one guy, a brand guy, who has been fired from 2 different brands for this same kind of shady dealing. That's something I have personally heard. So I'm sure there are other cases.
आया जाए और इंश्योर करा जाए कि ऐसी चीज फिर से ना हो पाए फ्यूचर में। ये तो हो गया ब्रांड्स का रोल। अब आपका क्या रोल है एज अ व्यूअर। सबसे पहले उन क्रिएटर्स को सपोर्ट करें जिनका कंटेंट थोड़ा लेट भी आता है, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट गेटिंग डिवाइसेस डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम द ब्रांड।
Yeah, this is, I mean, as much as I want to tell you guys, you should support creators who are covering stuff late. I don't really blame you guys. I blame YouTube for it, because these days, even I don't go around searching for stuff, right? We basically open up YouTube and then we just, open up YouTube, whatever's on the homepage. There's something that's interesting because it's all
in less than 10 seconds.
It's all related to stuff that, we've been watching. I mean, all I could probably say is, whenever you open up your YouTube app, just tap the subscriptions below to take a look at people you're subscribed to, and maybe go through that list. If they've uploaded something that you like, give it a watch. But barring that, there's really not much you guys can do.
ये क्रिएटर्स आपको जेन्युइन अनबायस्ड ओपिनियंस दे सकते हैं एंड दे ऑफर अ बेटर रियलिस्टिक आउटलुक ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट। आप उन ब्रांड्स को सपोर्ट करें जो आपके क्रिएटर्स को कोई मैंडेट्स नहीं देते। हम बहुत सारे ऐसे ब्रांड्स के साथ काम करते हैं जो हमें कोई मैंडेट्स नहीं देते।
Brands that don't give mandates to creators, in my experience, has basically been Pixel, Apple, and Asus. Xiaomi, for as long as I worked with them, I have never been given any mandates by Xiaomi. I have never been questioned. As in, they would probably give me a call if I did a video and I said there's one Redmi phone I covered which had like a super bluish hue on the primary sensor or the ultra wide, and they did call me and ask me about it and said, okay, we're going to be pushing a firmware update, check and let us know. It's nothing like why did you say it in the video or anything. uh, I've had other issues with sourcing units and stuff, but I've never had them in my experience. I've not worked with them and like gotten a review unit from Xiaomi in like 3 or 4 years. So I don't know what's happened in the recent time, last 3 years. I've been hearing that Xiaomi's also been doing a lot of paid promotions in this period. I don't know. I cannot attest to it. It's all hearsay. In my experience, they've never asked me to do anything.
कोई गाइडलाइंस नहीं देते कंटेंट बनाने की. वी ओनली वर्क विद ब्रांड्स दैट लेट अस पुट आवर ओपिनियंस फॉरवर्ड. और ये ब्रांड्स इंडस्ट्री के लिए अच्छे हैं, इनोवेशन के लिए अच्छे हैं, और एट द एंड ऑफ इट बेटर टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए अच्छे हैं. हम किसी भी ऐसे ब्रांड को क्यों सपोर्ट करें जो अपने प्रोडक्ट्स में ही बिलीव नहीं करता. आप अपने क्रिएटर्स को डायरेक्टली भी सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं बाय बिकमिंग मेंबर्स ऑन यूट्यूब, बाय सपोर्टिंग देम ऑन पेट्रियन, बाय सेंडिंग देम गिफ्ट्स ऑन इंस्टाग्राम. With this video, we are also opening up our membership in an effort. We want to create better content. And as a member, आप iGyaan's टीम का एक इंटीग्रल हिस्सा बन जाते हैं, जिसमें आप हमारी सारी वीडियोस को अर्ली देख पाएंगे और हमारे सारे potential.
I'm sure some creator is gonna make a video saying, hey, he did this entirely just to push his memberships, and I think that would be BS. I wouldn't have spoken about memberships on this video. Just me.
Sponsorships पे डिसाइड कर पाएंगे कि शुड वी डू दैट स्पॉन्सर्ड कंटेंट और नॉट. ये एक बहुत ही क्रूशल एस्पेक्ट है हमारे कंटेंट क्रिएशन फ्यूचर का. वी वांट दिस इंडस्ट्री टू बी मोर ट्रांसपेरेंट. वी वांट दिस इंडस्ट्री.
And again, right, here's the thing, like the kind of costs that go behind running a successful channel and sourcing the latest equipment and having like latest devices and having equipment good enough to create great content, it's very high. Like again, realistically, people supporting a creator could probably get HD wallpapers for free and watch an ad to download 4K wallpapers. But end of the day, what is needed is to make people watch 2 ads for SD wallpapers and pay $50 a month for full rest wallpapers. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like what people can really do to support and to actually run a channel that's like super like MKBHD level with respect to production and everything. The costs are like, just look up MKBHD's camera and the cost of the camera. It's just YouTube ad revenue, especially in India, comes nowhere close to doing it. So sponsored content needs to be done to sustain, even from just buying a few phones, covering it, and then selling it off. That rotation point of view, pay for customs, pay for shipping, pay for currency conversion charges, pay for most phones. If you guys see, like for example, I could be covering the Huawei Mate X3. I'm a guy who imports and covers a lot of what do you call Chinese phones, but then you've not seen that particular phone on my channel. That's because it's being sold at a huge markup in China. The phone by itself is around 2.25 lakhs MSRP, and it has not been available in China under 4.5 lakhs. There is no chance in hell I can find a buyer who's interested in buying it from me for over 1.8, 1.9 lakhs. So if I bought it for 2.2 at the MSRP, and say even if I paid like 20,000, 25,000 for customs and everything, I'm okay taking a hit of around 40,000 rupees on the phone and then selling it for 2 lakhs or 1.9 lakhs to somebody who wants to buy it. But buying it at 4.5 lakhs, just not, it's outside my budget. I really cannot take a 3 lakh hit for a single video. Any which ways.
To grow in a functional way without destroying the market and without creating scams, जिससे आपका भी नुकसान होता है, इंडस्ट्री का भी नुकसान होता है.
Oh yeah, it would actually be cheaper for me to fly to China and get a demo unit and shoot at a store and do a video.
क्रिएटर्स का भी नुकसान होता है एंड एट द एंड ऑफ इट कुछ लोग कमा के निकल जाते हैं। हमने शुरू में बोला था करप्शन की जड़ पैसा है, लेकिन पावर उसको इनेबल करता है।
Oh, he's tying
बट
it
इस
up.
पे एक लाइन ऐड करना जरूरी है, द रूट कॉज ऑफ करप्शन मे बी मनी बट पावर इनेबल्स इट एंड दोज हु वॉच इन साइलेंस अलाउ इट। अगर आप शांति से बैठ के देख रहे हो तो आप इसको अलाउ कर रहे हो। मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में।
Oh, okay, there's an epilogue. Okay.
एक बार ईमेल के बारे में बात कर लेते हैं। सो देर आर अबाउट 400 ईमेल एड्रेसेस इस ईमेल में जो मार्क्ड हैं, जिनको ये मेल गई हुई है। आप इसमें से देख सकते हैं कि कुछ तो एजेंसीज हैं, कुछ ब्रांड्स हैं, कुछ यूट्यूबर्स भी हैं। ऑलमोस्ट 1 मंथ हो चुका है इस ईमेल को गए हुए, और बहुत सारे लोग हैं। ऑब्वियसली मैंने ब्लर कर दिया है, बट बहुत सारे लोगों के स्पैम फोल्डर में गई है ये ईमेल।
Yeah.
बहुत सारे लोगों को पता भी नहीं है, क्योंकि मैंने जिन 2-4 लोगों से बात करी उनको ये पता नहीं था, बिकॉज उनके स्पैम फोल्डर में गई थी
Yep, it was in my spam folder.
ईमेल। सो इट इज़ पॉसिबल कि बहुत लोगों ने ये ईमेल नहीं देखी है, बट इट
Like literally in the middle of shooting this video, I was speaking to somebody. Like I said, my camera does not record that long without shutting down for overheating. That's when I knew there was a second email that was sent with pictures and everything. I didn't even know that when I was starting to record this video.
इज़ ऑल्सो पॉसिबल कि बहुत लोगों ने ये ईमेल देखी है लेकिन उसके ऊपर कोई एक्शन नहीं लिया है। सो आप इस ईमेल को देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे ये मेन ईमेल है। आप इसको पॉज करके देख सकते हैं, इसके 2 पोर्शंस हैं। मैं इसको स्क्रॉल करके भी दिखा देता हूँ।
Oh yeah, so this is the thing. They're being sold for a certain price. They're being sold for a certain price. They get whatever. They're sold for that. I don't know about payment transfers, remittance being done in cash. I don't know about any of these creators and what they are doing, and I don't really know. I don't watch Hindi content, so I really do not know. But this part of them being paid a certain something, and then the agencies double billing, that's true. It's even for huge creators like this, it's the same.
और पिछले 2 या 3 सालों में 100+ एजेंसीज को छोड़ के इन्हीं 3 या 4 एजेंसीज को सारा काम जा रहा है।
That is true. Like 4-5 years back, I used to work with like a different agency for every different brand. Like Xiaomi had one, Redmi had one. There was a different agency for Lenovo. There was a different agency. Now it's all being like it's pretty much no matter which brand I go to, it's basically 1 or 2 agencies that keep getting cycled. Like I said, I've not worked with all of them mentioned in this video, but it's a few that I keep coming across over and over again.
तो वो एक बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है। तो इस चीज़ को भी देखना ज़रूरी है, और क्रिएटर्स को भी ये चीज़ पता होनी चाहिए, स्पेशली बिग क्रिएटर्स, कि जिसके साथ वो काम कर रहे हैं वो कौन लोग हैं। तो वो भी इट सीम्स नहीं पता लोगों को। तो ये एक
See, media costs for brands are highly inflated, F's up their media spends, ROI, and the competition brands. Creators don't get what they deserve. They get much less. In fact, I mean, Cry Me a River, we do get paid, so that's not the big thing. But the fact that there's a middleman who's bloating up the costs, because at the end of the day, this money is coming from your pockets. Because what happens? Brands boost up the cost of the product. If their marketing spends get higher, then they boost up the cost of the product. So let's say a phone's price has been increased by 10%. If these middlemen were not sucking up 40% of the marketing budget, it might have gone up by 6%. So who knows?
पार्ट है ईमेल का। उसके बाद कुछ उन्होंने इमेजेस भी शेयर।
These images part was like a second email that I didn't even know existed till my camera stopped recording, and in the middle I was like, okay, you know what, let me go out, walk, get some steps in on the Pixel Watch, and talk to a friend. And that's when I knew there were pictures. Did you see the pictures? I'm like, what pictures? Again, wasn't spam, I didn't see it, I just saw it.
करी हैं जिसमें कुछ क्रिएटर्स भी दिखाते
Great blurring, Bharat. I really cannot tell who the last guy is.
हैं, और कुछ आपस में ये एजेंसी वाले लोग भी दिखाते हैं। अगेन वी ब्लर्ड दीज आउट बिकॉज फॉर द सेक ऑफ दिस वीडियो इट्स नॉट रेलेवेंट। एंड देन देयर इज अ सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ द ईमेल। इसमें कुछ मनी रिलेटेड कॉन्वर्सेशन है, कि कितना बिजनेस करा है इन लोगों ने। अगेन आप इसको पॉज करके
See, people say YouTubers make money, you know, you should just, I say YouTubers should quit and start up agencies. Looks like they make so much more money.
मन करके देख सकते हैं। एंड कुछ इन्होंने सोल्यूशन भी ऑफर करा है कि यू कैन मेक इट अ फेयर मार्केट प्लेस बाय इंट्रोड्यूसिंग बिडिंग, फेयर बिडिंग, विच इज़ एन इंडस्ट्री प्रैक्टिस। अगर आप इंडस्ट्री में कहीं भी कुछ भी काम कर रहे हैं तो 2 या 3 एजेंसीज बिड करती हैं। इस केस में क्या हो रहा है कि एक एजेंसी को स्पेशल प्राइस जा रही है, मान लो एक क्रिएटर का रेट ₹1,00,000 है, बट एजेंसी 1 को 80,000 जा रहा है, बाकी सबको 1,20,000 जा रहा है। तो एजेंसी 1
Okay, so I can explain this. So what happens is how they get special rates is okay. This is going to be a long explanation. You know what? I'll use my OBS skills and switch to full screen. Okay, so let us say you're a small regional creator. Okay, you're a Tamil creator. You don't really get a lot of reach, as in brands don't really watch your content. So you're not getting a lot of work from brands. Now, an agency reaches out to you. They say, you sign with us, we'll take 20% of your money. This is on top of the 20% or whatever the brand pays, and on top of how much they inflate your prices. They're still going to take 20% of whatever they're paying you. Okay, but we will get you business. This I have spoken to a few of my friends, and I know firsthand, and not Tamil tech, other people I know firsthand. Okay, and what happens is, now these people, they don't get any work from brands, so they say, okay, fine, we'll sign with you. So now they sign on, let's say, if I signed with an agency, I will create a business at c4etech.com email ID and give the access to this agency. So they're now representing me. So now, let's say this agency, let's call the agency as X. If agency X is one of 3 agencies bidding for a campaign, okay, they are going to give a price, they're going to get emails, they're going to reply to themselves and give themselves a price from my business at c4etech.com email account, and they're going to give a higher price to the other agencies who are bidding. Now, when one agency has a bucket load of talents signed in, you see how they can always get a special price because they are giving themselves the price. So that is basically how a lot of channels end up signing with an agency, because they're not really known or they don't really directly have work with brands. So they are forced to sign with them, because otherwise everything being routed via agencies means they're never going to see any work, and expenses are high when it comes to running a tech related YouTube channel. And once they've done that, now these agencies, it's a vicious cycle where they keep maintaining their monopoly because they have multiple YouTubers signed, and it goes on and on. Okay, switching back.
80,000 में सारा बिजनेस उठा लेगी और एजेंसी 2 और 3 compete ही नहीं कर पाएंगे बिकॉज उनको फेयर रेट नहीं मिल रहा।
Yes.
तो ये एक बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है और इसको टैकल करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। उसके बाद इन्होंने कुछ बैलेंस शीट शेयर करी थी इन कंपनीज की। बैलेंस शीट्स में ऑब्वियसली कुछ नाम और वो सब तो होते नहीं है, तो मनी रिलेटेड कॉन्वर्सेशन है, तो हम बैलेंस शीट्स शेयर नहीं कर रहे हैं फॉर प्राइवेसी रीजंस, बट उन्होंने कुछ मनी रिलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन।
Oh yeah, now this is a funny story I can actually tell you. It's totally not related. You can feel free to skip through this part. Okay, it's like one of these agencies that I worked with on a paid promotion. It's not, they are so bad at paying. So what they do is they come up with all these stupid excuses. So I live in UAE, right? So they said, you need to send us a signed physical invoice. Only if you send us a signed physical invoice can we pay you. I did it once. The next time they approached me, I told them, I need a signed physical purchase order, because you guys do not support, and this is, they come to me because a brand really wants to work on something. They need it done like yesterday. So this time I said, you know what, I'll work on it, no problem, but just send me a signed physical purchase order. They're like, why? It's like, you guys want signed physical invoices? How about you send me a signed physical purchase order? And ever since, they've never asked me for signed physical invoices. So, I mean, when I say ever since, the next 2 campaigns I worked with them, that's it. I've not worked with them in like 4+ years. I'm just saying, basically, these guys, they also make money there. They delay your payments as much as possible. 2 to 5 months is like a industry standard on getting paid. Anyways.
ऑलरेडी इस ईमेल में डाल दिया है, सो आप वो देख सकते हैं। वेल दैट वाज द ईमेल। लाइक आई सेड, हम सेकंड पार्ट में ब्रांड मैनेजर्स के बारे में बात करेंगे। कुछ ब्रांड मैनेजर्स जो हमें भी पता है इन्वॉल्व है इस सिचुएशन में, कुछ जिनके साथ हमने पर्सनली डील करा है, कुछ जो पहली बार ही नाम सुन रहे हैं, एंड कुछ जो और लोगों ने हमें बताया कि इस चीज़ में इन्वॉल्व हैं। सो वील टॉक अबाउट दैट, और वो ईमेल में भी मेंशन है, सो वील टॉक अबाउट दैट। in the next video, and consider liking this video and sharing it with the hashtag so that सबको पता चले कि हम इसी टॉपिक पे बात कर रहे हैं. ये हैशटैग बहुत रेलेवेंट होगा इस चीज़ को एम्पलीफाई करने के लिए, तो आप कहीं भी शेयर करें, ट्विटर पे, इंस्टाग्राम पे या कहीं भी. Please try and use the hashtag so that we can also track whatever you guys are saying, and also it is relevant in terms of the conversation. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.
So yeah, that was a lot. I think this is the longest video I've done and ever since Ash Answers went away. But yeah, guys, so this is, I found it very interesting because this is not wanting to deal with this is one of the reasons why I moved out of India, why I stopped. Even today, when I get a lot of questions on why are you covering this? There's a Lava phone launching. Why are you not covering it? Why are you covering a Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus that's not even launched in India? It's because, hey, I don't want to go through all of this. I don't want to deal with multiple agencies who don't want me there for their own reasons. I don't want to go through and then reach out to a brand. And it's not just that, right? Now, let's say I actually because I mentioned Lava, let's say I speak to somebody higher up in Lava, or somebody sees me on Twitter and says, okay, we'll send you a unit. Now they're going to route it through the agency because obviously, this is something agencies have been using for a long time, right? Like way back, like 8 years, 9 years back when, I can actually drop his name, Anuj, who handles Xiaomi now, I think he's VP at Xiaomi. He used to handle Lenovo. So at that point, it was like a running thing wherein literally every time a product launches, Anuj will tell me, hey, I'm sending you this unit. And then he'll come and tell me, I put your name in, they removed it from the list. The agency, they removed it from the list. They didn't like me for some reason. And then he'd put it back in. And then a few days later, he'd be like, you got the phone? I'm like, no. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, we shipped it. There was no tracking, blah, 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 blah. And then it'll get shipped. So this is something where agencies play around with. It's something that's happened. It's been happening for a long time. Now, it's not just, we don't like this guy, we won't send him. It's more like there's money involved, so we're not going to send it. So it becomes a huge pain to go through all of this, and eventually whenever I get the device, it's always like a week or 2 weeks late. That's why I've kind of given up on that totally. I'm a lot happier just buying my own devices, whatever I can afford, whatever fits. And for that, I'm willing to go to any extent, right? Like I have a house in India that I don't live in. I'm in a rented place in UAE. And now I even have a studio in China that I fly to on and off so that I can get better access to it. Is it a pain? Sure. I don't own a gold iPhone or a Ferrari, or I don't fly first class all the time. I mean, I've never flown first class. I did fly first class once where they upgraded me. Lucked out. But it's okay. I can, for me, it's all worth it because at the end of the day, I am able to do videos on the devices I love, buy devices that people don't really care about, like this. I think this looks cute. It's like an old device, but yeah. Buy stuff like this, talk about Anne Bernick, talk about Steam Decks and stuff like that. It might not really fit in with the mobile centric stuff, but then I'm able to cover stuff that I'm interested in, cover devices I'm interested in without any involvement from anybody. Makes it worth it for me. Anyways, guys, long video. If you've made it this far, give yourself a cookie on my part. And yeah, like Bharat said, use the hashtag TechScam2024 if you're going to talk about this on Twitter, or if you're going to share it, share Bharat's video or share my video, I mean, if you want to. And do, most importantly, let me know what you guys think about this. Have you guys been noticing this kind of a trend with coverage where it's more like an advertisement and not really reviews anymore? Do you feel it's brands to blame for it, creators, or YouTube's algorithms? Whatever you think, let's have a discussion. Let me know in the comments or join me on Discord. I don't have channel memberships, so yeah. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Ash out.